Okay, guys. So, everybody's here. Over the past few days, we've been talking about persuasion. What do you do in persuasive writing? What do you do when you're trying to convince somebody to see your way, right? So Monday, we talked about coming up with a point of view. And then the important part, what's the important part of having a point of view? You can have a point of view, but what do you also need? Are we going to do like what Brian does? Just start crying to get people to see his way? Yeah. No. What is it always good to have when you are trying to convince somebody of your point of view? Bradley?
To see a movie.
So say if you wanted to convince somebody to see a certain movie, how would you convince that person to see that movie?
It has really good reviews about the movie.
Okay, so you might show them a review, right?
Yeah.
So a review would be like what? What are you doing by showing somebody?
What are you providing them? What are you giving to them? What are you going to give to that person? Some what?
Information.
You're going to give them some information. Are you going to say, oh, it's a good movie?
Yes.
Bradley, you're shaking your head no. Why? What are you going to give them?
Just the movie, not the information.
Okay, but are you in the review? Who does the review? Is it a review by Bradley?
No, it's like the directors or the producers.
The critic.
Right, a critic. Usually you want a critic, okay? So when we give somebody these kinds of things, what are we giving them?
Advice?
We're not giving them advice.
Remember that paper we did notes on, and we talked about that when you do persuasive writing, you have to provide something for someone to persuade them to see your stance or to look at your point of view?
Evidence?
Yeah.
Evidence.
Okay, you need
Have some
evidence?
Evidence.
All right. You need something, like we said, when you're, some of you guys are turning 16 and you want to drive. You're not just going to say, Brian's going to use this method of, well, I'm just going to start crying. That's really not going to work in a lot of instances. You want to then say, show facts and statistics on maybe how many kids get their licenses at 16. And then Deb, you had looked it up, right? We actually found out it was only like 43% of kids. So that might not be a fact you want to show your parents if you want to drive, okay? So Monday we worked on looking at taking a point of view and then what fact you would provide, right? We went through the examples. And then yesterday, Ms. Shroeder introduced to you guys the topic that we were looking at, and we were looking at the topic of graffiti art. Okay, and we were looking at two sides of it. Some of you got assigned graffiti art as vandalism. What is vandalism? What does that mean when someone's a vandal or something is vandalism? Ivan, what does that mean?
It's destroyed.
It's to destroy. So some people view that graffiti is just someone's idea of writing on a wall or writing on a building and it destroys it. Some of you are going to be arguing that graffiti is a form of art, right? It's beautiful. Okay, and so you guys previewed some of the articles that we're looking at today. Okay, so today we're going to delve further into that. And remember, you guys are going to be trying to convince us to see your way. So some of you, you're going to take a stance. Graffiti is art, graffiti is vandalism. And you're going to be looking at your evidence through the text, through the articles, and then we're going to show you two short news clips to see whether, to support your idea. Okay, so what we want to do first is we want to open up our folders, take out the directions. The three of your groups are green. One of the directions is in... Oh, everyone's green. Yay! Okay. And also, for now, take out your graphic organizers. They should be in the front of that folder.
Good.
Put your names on them, that'd be great. So that we can go back and look, who soon.
Everybody has one? Everybody has a pencil?
Now, what we are
Pencil
going to do
tip?
first is we're going to preview these videos. Now, to be good note takers, as we're watching these videos, I want everyone to turn their graphic organizers over. Okay, and as we show each news clip, there's going to be two of them. You guys are going to be taking notes on that news clip. Okay, so if something jumps out at you, remember your stance, remember how you feel, remember what you're trying to convince us of. You take down, if something jumps out at you, like, oh yeah, this is a good reason why it's art, or oh yeah, this is a really good reason why it's vandalism, you write it down. Okay, so we're first going to be looking at the videos, and then we're going to be looking at the articles. Okay? Does anybody have any questions? All right, so which one do we want to watch first? Graffiti as an art style or
I don't know.
graffiti artist Banksy? What are we thinking?
Video is
You want to do graffiti artist Banksy?
No.
You want to graffiti as an art style?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
Want me to take care of the lies?
So let me see where the
Yes, please.
that
would be great.
The green cord.
Want me to take care of that other lie? Or
That's okay,
Yes.
Henry,
I can't
we're all
really
set.
determine why.
that's perfect.
Make sure it's loud enough and it doesn't actually take us back a little bit.
become an accepted art style as long as it's done in studio rather than on public property or private buildings.
Make sure
But
you're
as
taking notes.
WTIU's Kylie Works reports, for some, the possibility of getting caught is part of the thrill and one of the main reasons graffiti artists keep to the streets.
Malcolm Mobutu Smith is a former graffiti artist who is now an IU professor. He says graffiti is a unique genre of art.
You've added a thin layer of paint to a surface, and yet there's this glorifying of who you are and what you're capable of, and you go out and do it, and it's kind of intoxicating, and you do it more and more.
Smith says true graffiti artists follow a set of guidelines that include avoiding private property, businesses, and places of historical importance.
There are other people that try to support an ethic of trying to do their work, trying to do it in the truest sense, illegal graffiti, but not trying to raise alarms where people are going to get so bent out of shape.
Graffiti artists may look at a piece and notice color, shape, and meaning, but not everyone sees this graffiti as art. In the past year, Bloomington developed a graffiti removal program as well as a smartphone app where people can report graffiti and take pictures of vandalism. That information goes into the Public Works Department and is filed with the Police Department. Bloomington Police Captain Walters says graffiti is vandalism.
I think what you have is a conflicting philosophy sometimes as far as what it's meant to be. Graffiti sees it as a graffiti artist. Private property and even people within the city, when it's done to public property, sees it nothing more than vandalizing and damage done to property that's owned by someone else. And that person that damaged that property does not have the right to deface.
The city of Bloomington estimates it spends about $200 a month on materials and labor to clean up graffiti. For WTIU News, I'm Kylie Works.
Okay, now take a minute, and if anything jumped out at you, the beginning of that news story kind of talked about graffiti as art, and it interviewed an actual professor at a college, and he specializes in graffiti art. Okay, so for you guys, hopefully the beginning of that news story, you wrote down at least one thing that kind of jumped out at you. The end of that news story kind of looked at, well, graffiti is vandalism, okay, and hopefully I saw you guys writing. This is kind of something that jumped out at you as far as that was concerned. What's up, Brian?
No.
You just sharing with Tim?
And for this vandalism group, at the end of that video, I don't know if you picked up on the statistic that they gave you about something about vandalism, if you had a chance to see
Tim
the end of
and
that.
Lou, just let me know when you're ready,
Did you
okay?
hear about what they said?
I'm just waiting for Lou to-
I'm good.
You're good? Okay, now, yesterday, Ms. Schroeder introduced you to this graffiti artist, and his name is Banksy, and he's actually British. And he goes around to different cities, all across the world, actually, and anonymously, I don't even know how someone hasn't found him, though, at night. This is really weird. No one actually knows who he is, and he, in the middle of the night, sets up shop, and in one night, is able to paint these amazing pictures on these walls. So some people think, like, his art sells for, a lot of money, and he's got a website, and so people are really excited about his art, but then other people who live on those buildings just think he's, doing something that's illegal, and he shouldn't be doing it, okay? But this is a little clip about an actual graffiti artist. So let's just kind of see what point of view this one takes.
The graffiti artist known as Banksy is setting his sights on New York. For more than a decade, he has painted without warning, living in the shadows. He plans to spend the rest of the month making the city his canvas. Lankiano is at one of his projects in Brooklyn. Elaine, good morning.
Good morning to you, Charlie and Nora. Well, Banksy's piece here in Brooklyn has not only attracted fans, but also those looking to deface his work. That has prompted building owners here to put up plexiglass in order to protect the art, which is now on display throughout New York City. In a city filled with museums of world renown, it's of great interest to both the curator and the curious that New York's art display of the moment is playing out on the streets. The works introduced each day through the month of October are the creation of Banksy, an anonymous artist specializing in the defacing of public and private property. This is graffiti. Melania Reisig writes about art for the New York Times. What do we know about the artist Banksy?
We really only know what Banksy wants us to know, which is that he's a British artist who's made his name mostly doing street art, public work.
For the better part of the past decade, Banksy has presented his pieces of political and social commentary throughout the world. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie are among the growing number of collectors known to pay more than $1 million for a Banksy, street art with a Wall Street price tag. The artist said was never his intent when he appeared in disguise for his 2010 documentary Exit Through the Gift Shop.
These famous auction houses, all of a sudden they were selling street art and everything was going a bit crazy and suddenly it all became about the money, but it never was about the money.
How do you explain Banksy's art to a person that has never seen street art before?
Well, Banksy operates in the same zone that Andy Warhol probably did. You know, when Warhol first started painting soup cans, a lot of people said, we don't get it. But it ended up making a real lasting commentary on the art world and making a real lasting mark. And obviously his work is still really, really valuable.
Like any good show, Banksy's New York installations come complete with an audio tour, though with a satirical jab at the art industry itself.
Are you looking at one of the great artworks of the 21st century? If so, you're in the wrong place. You should be looking at a stencil of a dog peeing on a hydrant.
Of course, street artists face certain liabilities, the fleeting nature of their work chief among them. Many of the Banksy New York pieces have already been tagged or defaced, while some building owners, perhaps unaware of the graffiti's value, have painted right over them.
The last thing I want is for the front of my building to be vandalized and its property value to skyrocket.
Like the late-night comedians who taunt him, Banksy is likely in on the joke.
He's saying, art world, don't take yourself too seriously. I don't take it too seriously, and yet I'm making millions of dollars from it. He's kind of laughing all the way to the bank.
Now, a separate location, or a separate installation, I should say, is expected each day, and each location is announced on the artist's website, but he only gives a general vicinity, so it's a bit of a scavenger hunt for fans of the elusive artist. Charlie, Nora?
Landy, thank you.
Okay, so you got two kind of videos that show both points of view. So you both were able to take out maybe some good facts that you're going to use at the end when we share out. Ms. Shroeder,
Yeah, I was gonna say, remember yesterday we talked about Banksy being incognito and he had that hooded sweatshirt that he wore all the time? You saw that in the video?
Yeah.
So he actually was shown in the way that he goes out around the city and paints. What'd you think of him? What'd you think of that whole thing? What are your thoughts? You think it's cool? You think it look cool? What'd you say?
That wasn't his real voice.
No, it wasn't. They disguised it.
Right. Disguise the voice, disguise, right? So again, there's two sides to this, even in both video clips. Street art, vandalism, okay? So you have notes for the video clip. So now what I'd like you to do is look at your directions that you have on your green paper. Right there, everybody get your green paper? Yes.
Why don't we have you three, just because it's easier, move to here, because you're all kind of reading the same articles, just so that I can okay, so Henry and Devin and Emily, why don't you move to here, and there's enough chairs for everybody. Bring the folder.
So look at your green paper, your directions, and you're going to flip your graphic organizer over now.
so take out, flip over your graphic organizers.
Everybody flip over your graphic organizers.
Over here, and then can you hand everybody the article? Actually,
And read,
Henry, can you give everybody the article?
should we read the directions together?
Yeah, actually,
Okay,
Cal,
so
can
take
you,
out the article.
can you read those directions for us?
Everybody get your articles out. Great. So Kelly, did you want to read the directions for us? Everybody have the article out?
The whole thing?
Yes, can you read
Just the part about the article, so it'd be that second set of directions after the movie clips.
number 4?
Oh. As a group, discuss your evidence and discuss what 3 pieces of evidence would persuade somebody to agree with your stance.
Okay. And number 5?
Oh.
Let's see. Wazi, can you read number 5 for us?
Write the 3 pieces of evidence in the boxes on the organizer.
Okay. So we have to read the article now and look through these notes, take notes using the organizer and find our evidence to support the stance. So remember, your group is doing site of vandalism. Your groups over here are looking at graffiti as a form of art.
Now, what I've done is that there's highlighters on the table for you guys. You might, as you're reading this article and going through it again, you might want to use highlighters. If something jumps out at you and as an important fact that you want to use in your argument, then highlight it, okay? So Ms. Schroeder's going to be helping the graffiti as art people, and I'm going to be over here helping the graffiti as vandalism people, okay?
See what you guys can find.
I have.
Spend some time reading that article. Able to show this. Good. Once you use the highlighter, highlight that, and when you're done talk, put some of your information.
Okay, I see a lot of good highlighting going on this side. You're finding a lot of good facts that will support your point of view, your stance. Could. Yep.
That's good. Perfect.
That's good. Fine. Yep, that's a good fact. Perfect.
Okay, so I'm gonna write this fact. I'm gonna write that over here as one of your pieces of evidence. Okay?
Yeah.
Or whatever you find, you can put in these boxes.
Graffiti looks pretty, and a lot of this fighter has a lot of effects.
Where did you find this piece of evidence? Do you have that in here?
No.
Okay, so what we want to do is we want to make sure we're using the text
Okay.
to find 3 pieces of evidence. You might be able to find something that would help you to support that. Well, Leslie, if we look into the text to see that is it when you express yourself. See anything in here?
I'm still trying to figure out where it is.
Because I think you're onto something there, but I think when we look here, Leslie will be able to find information
I'm seeing you
that
guys
would
as you're
support
reading
this.
individually, you're coming up with a lot of nice facts. Remember, those are always going to help support you more than just keeping offering opinions, right? So some of you are coming up with some really nice statistics and some really nice facts. I'm going to ignore that.
No phone calls right now. Excellent. Nice job. If you have an opponent in sports, what does that mean?
That's okay. That's fine.
Not against, exactly. Perfect. So, if this is saying he's against.
Okay, so when you're done highlighting, I want each of you individually, as you wait for everybody else to be done, to kind of take your pencil and star 3 facts that you think are the most convincing to prove your point. So if you might have underlined, and I see a lot of you underline a lot of good things.
Yeah, because we have to pay.
Okay, so for Henry, you might underline that, star that for yourself, okay? Because this is what you're eventually going to be arguing with each other as to what is the 3 most important facts, okay? So if you're done with the highlighting part, kind of star. So for you, Hen, put a star next to this one.
How many stars?
All right, put a pencil or your highlighter, that's fine.
Will be better.
Did I come back? Did you find anything?
So that's,
Okay, so if we're talking about a good way to express yourself, look right in this paragraph here. See if there's anything that would
Yeah, I was looking at this.
all right, Brad, so you have your
Excellent.
2. Try to find one more.
Okay, because you
And you
said
start that as well?
it's
Great.
magical
Okay.
visiting
Ivan, you have your 3
works around the
starred
city.
at this
And
point?
then what does
Good.
this quote say?
Deb, you have your 3 starred?
Okay.
Okay. Emily,
What
you
does
have
it, tell me what this quote
reading
says.
spirit.
The wall started talking to them in a way.
Right, so
Okay,
that would
so
support what you were
what I want
writing
you to do while
down.
Emily's
Perfect.
finishing up. And Deb, maybe you can move over here because it's easier to talk. I want you guys to start discussing what are the, you just share what you start, and you all have to kind of argue what are going to be the 3 facts that you're going to share out to the larger group.
Okay, so Kelly, this
So,
is a good,
why don't
do
we
you
start
have
by
the,
Deb just sharing what you start now. If someone also started the same thing, that might be what's going on your graphic organizer. Okay, that might be what you write on your sheet. Okay, so Deb, what's your first fact?
Let's see. Let's see. The one about like the gangs.
So can you read the?
Where is it? Which one? Wait, is it? Can I read this one?
Yeah, whichever one you want to start with.
Okay. People feel angry, hurt, and sometimes frightened when something of theirs, a mailbox, a bike, or a car door, is destroyed for no reason.
Okay, so did anybody else have that starred or highlighted in the article?
I put destroy for no reason.
Okay, so 3 of you had that star. So you want to take your highlighter and circle that, because that might be one fact you guys consider putting in, right? So let's see, you know what they're thinking about putting this one in?
I would say these are the best.
Okay, you know, when it comes down to your turn, argue that. Okay, so that might be a consideration.
Oh, and another one, about the different artists and like vandalism and like it's a crime. You know, some people think it's a crime to.
Evan, you're not sitting there.
No, I know, I just had these.
So I think.
Okay, so tell the other guys, did anybody else, so Dad, you asked, asked your group ratings, did anybody else have
Did anyone
that?
else have that? It's in the first paragraph.
Can you read that one again, Dad?
Yeah. Let's see. If it's not on the artist's property, it's vandalism,
Yeah.
and it's a crime.
Okay.
Graffiti is often the first sign that gangs are taking over.
Yep.
Neighbors, gangs. Okay, you got that?
Okay, so, how many people had that highlighted? You did. Brad, did you have that about the games? Yeah.
I did.
You had that too,
Yeah.
Emily, you did as well. Okay, so I'd maybe circle that one, right? If you all have had that, right? Alright, so Henry, you circle it,
I just
And then I got one more.
Okay.
Local governments and taxpayers, your parents, your neighbors, and even yourselves pay the bills for broken street lights, stolen signs, and vandalized parks.
Okay, did anybody else have that?
Yep.
I did.
Alright, so you guys might want to circle that one. Okay?
And those three.
Now, I know that Devin highlighted some that you guys had. Did other people have different ones that they wanted to highlight? Emily, did you have any other different ones that are different from what Devin had said?
Right there, Emily.
What do you got?
Graffiti gives criminals the impression that residents don't care about their neighborhood.
Did anybody else highlight that?
Yeah, I did.
Alright, so maybe the two of you want to circle it. Because that might be something to consider too. That was a good piece of info, right? So since you both have it, circle it. Let's see, right? Again, you're gonna have to be signing, I'm not, so.
Would somebody pay that if they were considering it
that.
vandalism?
Okay, just so you know, that's
No,
something to consider.
they're paying a lot of money for that piece of artwork,
Bradley, did you
aren't
have
they?
something different?
That's a lot of money. I mean, it's like I said, more than I would make in a lifetime. So, okay, great, piece of evidence. What's another piece of evidence that you found? Now, it could be from the video as well. We could work on things from the text, and we could work on things from information from the video as well. What's something else from the text that you found, that we just read from the article? Luazi, what else did you find?
It is a good way to express yourself. The wall started to talk to them in a way, says strong.
And that's $1 million.
Okay, now why did you choose that as a, when we were talking about it together, why did you choose that quote?
He was making graffiti about politics or something like that, and the way he felt about it.
Okay, and so someone's looking at it and they're actually invoking feelings or having some feelings about what's being put on the wall. And the feelings are mostly magical, or the text says that people have interest in them. They, there's something that they're feeling about that art. Good. What'd you find, Brian? What piece of text did you find?
I said that makes it look magical when you first walk in the streets.
Okay. And how does that support it being evidence for art?
Do you see, like, do you go down
Just
to,
makes it look
like, where
magical.
this is and everything, do you see?
Makes it look magical, people, so it's a positive feeling?
Yeah.
Right? Instead of a negative feeling? Would you agree? It's more of a positive feeling? Okay. Tim, what did you find? Evidence. In your box, what did you write in one of your boxes?
This one. Public, like parks and streets.
How about in your neighborhoods? Is there any neighborhoods no graffiti?
It's called street art.
In public places, it's called street art? Okay, did you find that at the beginning? Where did you find that? I don't remember where that is. Oh, okay. Public areas like parks and streets without permission is called street art. Okay, so you found it right in the
Yeah, there's graffiti like everywhere.
Probably graffiti everywhere, right? And the assumption is that graffiti then makes people think, oh, these people don't care about their neighborhoods, right? Okay. All right, so I'm gonna take a step back, and you guys decide now at this point, you're writing in your three facts, you as a group, Henry, included, decide what three facts you want to use to present out to the class.
Okay,
Um,
so it said art is only the son of other people's property.
Walk amongst yourselves.
yeah, I think we should write about the first one.
What else do we find in the video?
You know, where it talks about like people's property and stuff. You know, like you shouldn't vandalize people's property.
The owners are what?
You guys have to, if you don't agree with her, then say no. If you agree, then put that down as your fact. Does anyone disagree with Devin, or are you guys okay with putting that down?
Okay.
Wait, which one you say?
How is that-
The first one here?
It's a vandalism.
Yeah. It's talking about the crime.
Which one was it, Dev?
The first one.
Okay, reread it.
Let's
So
see.
the Henry dear, not done.
If it's not on the artist's property, it's vandalism and it's a crime.
Okay, so are we making that our first fact?
Yep.
Okay, so Mr. Mount,
I wanted you to finish.
this is the one that.
And then can we also put on graffiti?
Okay, let's keep, so
okay,
let's keep
yeah.
write that in the top.
Okay.
Okay, if you're deciding that that's your first fact,
Okay.
Is a form
you're
of
gonna
art
put that in there.
that stands for, what'd you find, Lois? Anything good on the video clip?
Some people own the property and graffiti artists. Oh, yeah, I said that some people own the property, artists, graffiti artists might paint on it, on their property. Never mind.
Okay, that one wouldn't work. Okay, what about another one? Another-
Graffiti is a unique genre of art, said Mr. Smith.
Unique genre of art, so somebody that's reputable, that, you know, is seen by the community as someone that's knowledgeable about this subject in the video, was saying that, look at this, you know, we consider this a form of art. Very nice. Okay. So we have a lot of evidence here. So what we need to do as a group now is do what? What do we have to figure out? Anybody know what the directions were? Brian, what do we have as our job right now? We wrote our evidence down, right? What do we have to do now?
As a group, discuss your evidence.
Okay.
We did that.
And decide which three. Go ahead, Tim. Decide which three pieces.
Pieces of evidence
Mm-hmm.
would persuade some to agree with your stance.
Okay. So as a group, Kelly. Yeah. You guys to help out, right? As a group, you need to figure out what are the three best pieces of evidence that you think you found, whether it's from the article or the article and the video, that you would say, you could say to that group over there, that graffiti is definitely considered a form of art because, what were the three top reasons? Why don't you guys figure that out together? What do you think the three best reasons were?
You can sell graffiti.
Donate it.
Okay, sell and donate it, good. Would you agree, Loazi?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we want you to say that in your group. Talk to each other. You agree with Kelly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What else do you think is a strong piece of evidence that says that you could persuade someone to agree with you that it's a form of art?
Many people like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Many people like it, and read the rest of what you wrote.
And they travel and go around the city to find the artwork.
They want to look at the artwork, and they're calling it artwork, and they're traveling around those boroughs of New York City to look at that artwork. Brian, do you have something else that you think is a strong argument? Strong piece of evidence?
You guys have to decide.
People are protecting the art.
That last
Hmm?
one usually
People are
leaves the
protecting
best
it.
impression.
People are protecting
Lead
it?
with your strongest.
Okay. Do you guys think that that would be a good thing to write?
Yeah.
Okay. People are protecting? Okay. Anybody else feel strongly that something they have, Loazi, on their paper might be a better stance or a better piece of evidence than some of the other ones?
Do you guys think that should be your third fact? Would anyone disagree with that?
Or maybe schools pay millions of dollars each year to clean up graffiti, repair buildings, and replace vandalized equipment. That's money that could be used to buy better sports equipment or new computers.
So you guys have two statistics presented. Decide which one's gonna hit people harder. So you have one about the schools paying millions,
We all kind of looked at it.
or you have the one about businesses having to pass on the costs to
So,
their
top reason.
customers.
This guy's
So
selling
decide, you
it.
guys decide which.
Ooh, that's hard.
$615,000.
Both are good.
Who were those famous people in the video?
Okay, so Bradley thinks the schools, why that?
Buying, who was it? Who were those people?
Because it takes a lot of money
Yes,
to
Brad Pitt and Angelina
Or
Jolie.
maybe local governments and taxpayers and your parents, your neighbors, and even yourselves pay the bills for broken street
That's what I was gonna put.
signs and vandalized parks. We pay even higher taxes and service to pay for damage caused by vandals.
What you
Who
could
was
do,
the vandalism hanging on their
this is
wall?
just a suggestion, you could make a general statement.
Right?
What
Right,
are
no one,
these
right?
three things
Exactly.
mentioning?
Okay.
People's what?
And then the
People's
other
money.
reason you
People's
found-
money. What does vandalism do to people's money? What do
We
we
have to
Anything else you
pay.
wanna add, Tim?
We have to pay it to repair
No.
Yes.
We have to pay it. We have to pay it for repairs.
So why don't we
I don't know
start
if
off
someone wants
saying,
to take charge of.
people have to then
Maybe someone could take charge of. Out of these four papers, maybe putting a star or highlighting the top three reasons, so when we put our papers together, we actually have the top three. Okay, so let's put a little star. Okay, so Kelly's got one on her paper. Let's put a star. Oh, you got it. Good. What's another one that we said was a star piece of evidence?
Many people like the artwork.
People like the artwork go around to look at the artwork?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what was the third one? Loisy, I think you had the third one on your paper from the video, didn't you? Or Tim, did you have it?
Fixing.
Go ahead, Brian.
Projective.
Okay, good. So star that one, Tim, on your paper. Kelly had the same one you had, Tim, about it being worth $615,000. I think you guys had the same one. But where's that piece of evidence? Okay, perfect. Okay, so star this one right here. This one right here. Okay, so those are our top three. You didn't pick anything from the video. This Landy art group is just about,
okay, we're just about done, we're just writing in our final examples.
What's the other one? Schools?
Now, I think, Ms. Shroeder, what we maybe could do,
What's the other
because
one?
we've got about
Schools?
20 minutes left, 15 minutes left. Once they share out, this group shares with this group and vice versa, maybe what we should do is each person should at the end just give what they feel after hearing both arguments, what their personal opinion is. Okay, just as kind of like a closing reflection. Okay, so are we good? Are we ready to share? Okay, so now each group
So
has
you
to
guys
elect,
have to really
because I'm not talking
decide.
You guys are gonna have to decide who's
Right,
presenting for you.
who's gonna be
stand up and
discussing
present
the
your
other group.
argument to.
How do you feel about their three top pieces of evidence? Who's the lucky person? I'll let you guys decide.
What am I saying? No, I can say it, but what?
Want to do it?
No, I can do it if you want.
Maybe the.
All right, whoever wants to do it, do it.
Alright, so I'm thinking of a number three. Between
You will?
1 and 3. I'm gonna tell it to
Okay.
them.
Kelly elected
2.
Did I even tell it to you yet? Okay, now I gotta think of another number. Okay, I'm thinking of a number.
Don't say anything.
Okay, shut it. Clear your brains.
15 to.
So you need
Are you ready?
Do you know Tim's idea?
I heard
Have
it.
on there? Okay,
Did you? Henry, what is it?
Wait,
Between 1 and 3.
2.
No.
3.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so Deb will present. Okay, so,
Wait a minute. You said between.
I did. I said 1, 2, or 3.
It's between 2 and 3.
All right, it's okay. We can.
1 and 3. All right, do you have someone elected?
Yes.
To go? Do you really want to do this, Hannah? Is this gonna like make your day? Can Henry do it?
Yeah,
All right,
sure.
here. You happy? All right, Merry Christmas. Okay, so you guys, why don't you, whoever's presenting, why do I have a feeling it's Kelly?
I know why you had that feeling.
All right, Kelly, so now here's the deal. You're gonna give your reasons, and your group's gonna give your reasons. Now, At the end, we're just gonna have you write on the bottom of your paper what you personally feel after kind of reading the articles and looking at the news stories and discussing this. What is your personal feeling? And maybe Ms. Schroeder and I will actually tally, and that'll be the true decider of who actually won this thing. Because say if more of you decide that it's actually art, it's really cool, or more of you decide it's actually vandalism, we'll see how that breaks down, okay? But when you do your final writing of deciding how you feel, you have to actually offer one fact from the readings, or from what the other group said, all right?
What if it's both?
What if it is both? You're gonna probably feel more strongly about one side. You wouldn't feel like, whatever, like whatever's clev, it's vandalism, it's not art, you're gonna find one side's gonna be stronger. So,
Okay.
Miss Kelly, whenever you're ready to share with the
Me,
entire
Kelly?
group.
Okay.
So what was your stance?
Okay. Well, okay, so
You
read
wanna take a
Kelly.
minute, start over again?
Let's
I don't know if we can
read
rewind,
this.
I'm not sure.
Okay, so
Part here, and then go into your reasons, because this is the stance that we can tell the other
Okay.
side. Okay?
graffiti should be considered a form of art because Banksy sells his work and puts it on a website. He sells it for like $650,000, and then many people like his artwork. They travel and go around the city to find it, and then people are trying to protect it too, and many famous people like it too. So,
Any
yeah.
famous people like who? Who do we say like that artwork, that bought some of their artwork? That we got from the video.
Brad Pitt and somebody else.
And Angelina Jolie,
Who's
buying
his,
that artwork.
Fiance, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So 3 good reasons.
Well presented. All right,
Why
Henry, so
should we
now,
consider
first
artwork?
what I want you to do, Hen, is read the question in the box. So you're gonna actually restate this, and then state the 3 reasons you guys came up with.
Should graffiti be considered a form of art, or should it be considered a vandalism? Well, graffiti should be considered vandalism because if it's not on the artist's property, it's considered vandalism and it's a crime. It gives criminals the impression that a neighborhood doesn't care. And people wind up paying their money to pay for repairs.
Oh, 3 good reasons.
Ken's gonna be a lawyer one day, huh?
Yes.
That's that rebuttal.
My mom actually used to be a lawyer.
She used to. I see it runs in our family. Okay, so right now, the next 3 minutes, on the bottom of your graphic organizer, I want you to now, you don't have a side, right? We're not assigning sides. I want you to write down what you personally feel about this. What is your stance? What is your point of view on graffiti? Is it art or is it vandalism? So I need one statement or one sentence that states your point of view.
It's your opinion now.
And then I need one reason. Go do that now. Okay, so you're gonna write it right down here.
You can start that sentence off with, I think graffiti should be considered.
Well, you're just gonna say actually.
Because. Great, that's how you can write it.
Okay, what is your personal belief? Sometimes, and especially if anyone wants to become a lawyer, you're gonna be given something to debate or argue that you might not necessarily believe, kind of what you guys just did. Now, at this point, we're asking you your personal opinion. But like we said, once you have an opinion, you have to have a fact or a statistic from that reading to back it up.
A reason why. Your final.
Alright, so, you're gonna see how many? In my mind, Shroeder. Oh, I always Yes.
How's that?
I don't know, let's see. But yes, I like you to just put it according to the article.
According to the article.
Final opinions.
And you're gonna just put your pen and pencils down so we know that you're finished. You don't have to write it up, just when you read it out loud, just remember to put it according to the article. Just so that whole window. Just check. According to the article, what's the title? First, so you should list
So Sandy, are we gonna tell everybody like our opinions?
More? We're gonna share. We're gonna share out. And then you have your factory. So just put an arrow to like where did you start writing the people? People.
What is this drawing now?
Well, this is something like I show you.
No, don't.
Okay, no. So vandalism, then the reason looks like it starts here. People kind of sneaking around there. Just so when you read it out loud, you have
So you might want to say that in your opinion.
Okay. Alright, so you guys are all good with your... So once everybody is done writing, what we're going to do is just, from your desk, you're going to just share your personal opinion. Now, want to keep the tally for you?
Sure.
Okay, so Shroeder's going to be keeping the tally. See which side will win. Okay, so who needs, Kel and Lou, we're just waiting for a second.
Okay, this is it. This is the deciding factor, what our class views.
All right, let's start with Tim. Just read your statement. What do you feel? Is graffiti art or is it vandalism?
I think graffiti should be part of art because people buy it.
Okay. People will pay for it. Okay. Brian, what did you say?
Graffiti is art because it can remind people of what happened back in time.
Okay. Yeah, some graffiti is very historical, right? Okay. Another word for art.
Kelly, you're up.
Oh, great. I think it's art.
Why? From what? From something from the article? What supports that?
Because it's placed in public areas and usually it's placed in public areas and people call it street art. Yeah.
Yeah, that whole term street art, right? All right, Lou, where did you come down? What do you think, dear?
I said that my point of view in graffiti is that as long as you do it on your own property and your own time, it's not vandalism, but it definitely is when you do it on other people's property.
So you're actually falling on the side of vandalism?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Which a lot of people feel like, yeah, it looks pretty, but that Banksy guy's writing on people's buildings,
Right.
That, that aren't his. Okay. Emily, where did you fall? What did you say?
I said I believe graffiti is art because graffiti can be famous and the artist can put it online and they can sell it.
Okay.
So Emily thinks it's art. Ivan?
Or.
What do you feel?
I believe graffiti is art because some of them are better than art, or better than other artists.
Yeah, some of the graffiti is kind of
Yeah.
cool looking, right? All right,
Yeah.
so
Another art.
actually, Ivan thinks it's art. Okay, Devin, what did you feel?
I feel like in between.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Like
you do a half of
it
half
depends
of mark.
because if you're like making art, like pictures and pretty paintings and stuff like that, then it's okay. But if you're destroying it and writing all over people's properties,
Okay.
bad language, stuff like that kind of thing.
So Devin's
Okay.
on the fence. We're gonna put you
Yeah.
in the middle.
Okay. But what Banksy
But
is doing,
I'm more to the side of vandalism.
more to the side of it, so can we put you over there? Devin, is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
why are you more on the side of vandalism? Why is your point of view more on the side of vandalism?
Because it's like a sign of gangs. It could be like a sign of gangs.
Okay.
You're destroying other people's properties, like their buildings that they own.
Okay.
Their
Good.
homes and stuff like that.
Like, I don't know if Banksy graffitis his own house. I'm not quite sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right? Is he graffitiing his house? We're not sure.
Yeah.
Fact is, he is putting it on other buildings.
And also, the schools have to pay if it's on their school property, then people your parents, neighbors, people have to pay for it, to get
Good
it
point.
cleaned off,
Yeah.
and it becomes expensive.
It does. It does. We said we found a statistic of $1 million, right? Okay, thanks, Deb. Mr. Bradley, what do you feel? What is your opinion?
My opinion is that I think it would be art that is vandalized to other people's properties. They just destroy other stuff like streetlights, payphones, and buildings.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, so it's vandalism.
Okay.
Because they're destroying something, okay. Mr.
And-
Henry, what do you feel?
I think graffiti should. I think it should be considered vandalism. I think graffiti really should be considered vandalism. Well, according to the article, the scoop on vandalism, well, graffiti should be considered vandalism because people wind up destroying things.
Okay.
Good, and I like the wording you used according to the article.
Very nice.
Oh, and by the way, you spelled vandalism wrong. There's no E. There's
Hey.
I was
We learned
doing
about the vandals
quick-
the other day, right? All of you like social studies.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so I think we actually all came down on graffiti as art. Give everybody a round
Wait,
of
what about
applause.
Ivan?
Well, Ivan! Wait, you're the deciding factor. You're like America's Idol. Sorry, what did you decide? Sorry.
I already did it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
So
you
we
did.
Yeah, we have it all. So graffiti is art. Yay! All right.
Well,
That's what our group
I
decided.
personally think it's
Very nice job, everybody.
Okay, guys. Give us your sheets, please.